Question 575. What do you consider to be the worst argument for God?
Oh, Pascal's wager.
Oh God. Hold
That's
on.
the worst one in my book.
All right.
I don't think that's an argument for God.
Yeah, it is. It's the Pascal's wager is the well, you might as well pretend that you believed in case you're wrong. It's the what if I'm wrong argument, and like as if an omnipotent being couldn't tell the difference.
But it's not proof.
No. The question was which is the worst argument for God?
Argument.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
So Pascal's wager, in my opinion, is the worst argument. Now there are lots of bad arguments for God, but that's the one that.
That's a pretty terrible one.
I think
it grinds my gears.
What?
Yeah.
Watchmakers.
Watchmakers.
Watchmaker, yeah.
I'll tell you the worst argument I've heard.
Go on.
Believe. You know you do. It's written in my book that you know.
Yeah, the Bible.
I'm not groaning at you, Badger. I'm groaning at the argument. I get it. I hate that one.
The insanity of a circular
Julie...
argument is annoying beyond belief. These
Says,
people need to have a dent put in their brain.
Jeff says, I'm an atheist. I have a message for you from MathPig, but I don't know what it means. He says buzz buzz.
Shut the fuck up.
So Julie, my response to that argument is this. I always say to them, so you have an all-loving God? And they say, absolutely. And you have an all-forgiving God? Absolutely. So why should I waste my life chasing something I'm not sure about or pretty much just don't believe if at the end of it, if I say, oh, I'm sorry, he's going to forgive me and let me in anyways. So why am I going to waste my life doing that?
Yeah, precisely.
Just saying.
No, I agree.
If that's what you're saying, then I don't have to go to church and read the Bible and pray all the time and do all that because I'll get in anyways.
I've read the Bible more as an atheist than I ever did as a Christian, and it's irritating.
See, and that is just
That's more fun.
That is just so insane to me, Julie. You know, if
I
you're
know.
an atheist, why even bother trying to defend being an atheist? Because why should I have to defend against something I don't even think exists?
Yeah.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. It's just
And
that
I know.
Why
I
don't
come
you
from
believe in
very
Voldemort?
religious People. So if I can't meet them where they're at, then there's no further. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to convert my evangelical siblings and my Catholic parents away from their religion. I don't see that happening.
I'm just gonna sit there and laugh my ass off.
If I can't even talk to them about it, then it no ground to stand on, as it were.
Right, and that's the other half of my argument. Is I always say, what if? Because they say, what if you're wrong, which starts that. So I always say, what if you're wrong, and you just wasted most of your life chasing something that's not real, and you're laying there on your deathbed going, oh shit, what did I just do with my life?
You wasted your life on. I mean, they are wasting their lives. I mean, I have a nice spreadsheet for Pascal's wager, which lists about the 30 major religions and whether or not they've all got a hell and whether or not you're going to go to hell for not believing. And I mostly give that to people that don't that try and Pascal wager me.
Tell me one that doesn't.
Yeah, religion is just a way to control the population and make them do stuff you want. That's all religion is. Indoctrinated bullshit.
Yeah. Seraphim says Pascal's wager.
I don't agree with that either because anybody in power wants the masses to bend down and have sex with them, and religion doesn't allow for that stuff.
No religion does allow for that.
It does.
Yeah, not in the teachings of it, but within the framework of the structure that it creates, it puts its leaders above it. Oh. They only have to be seen to be a certain way. It is completely acceptable for them to...
Or even worse, what did I not do?
Well, then slap my ass and call me Jesus.
I mean, if that's your thing, someone might do it.
If you slap Jesus' ass, would it heal your leprosy?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I was hoping for hemorrhoids, but
Sammy says argument from design. Jeff says press up apologetics is the worst argument. Doc says if God doesn't exist, then whose dick is up my arse? I don't recall that one. That's a new one on me.
That's a pretty good argument.
Okay.
So,
I'm just going to go with every argument is ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah. And I said it in the chat, but now that I'm not lagging anymore, I do want to say, Jenny, like, no, you are under no obligation to read any sacred text or bullshit. Like, that life is too fucking short. Like,
Yes.
don't worry about it.
If it
I'm
wasn't
very happy
fun,
about that
I wouldn't be doing it.
I never was intending on learning to read, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great if you're an insomniac.
Yeah, there's that.
I'll be right back.
I don't know. Some of it's very exciting.
Well, and then some of it is like it refers to other books that are lost or whatever, and they're like, and the War of the Five Kings happened at the slime pits of Sadim. How freaking cool is that? But you know, that's in this other book. So now let's go back to Moses doing nothing. It's like what? What? But I want to know about that. That's all like.
I want to know why it
and
doesn't
shit.
say that Moses is made up.
Moses is really silly.
Yes. IQ just has the best answer there. Any argument that doesn't admit any uncertainty. I think that's what I object to the most. That they could be wrong.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't there? They're wandering around in the desert for 40 years. Now, they're on like a trade route between two places.
Yeah.
In theory.
And they've only got to go several hundred miles.
And it's like a week's walk.
Yeah.
And now it's just somebody said they were. I can't remember if this is in the Bible or not because I haven't read that bit for like ages. But somebody said they were following like a pillar of fire.
Yes, because at that point, Yahweh was like, okay, I'll send you smoke by day and fire by night so you can follow me. And Yahweh was like a Babylonian god. He was like one of many.
Basically, GPS is much better now.
Yeah.
Surely they must have realised, like, after like a year, that the fire wasn't going the right way.
One would think. And
but it couldn't not go the right way. The length of the line... They would have fucking come back on themselves.
Yes, no, Dave is absolutely right. If they simply linked hands, the number of people purported in Exodus to have escaped slavery in Egypt, if they had linked hands, the first person would have been at their destination while the last person was still at the Red Sea. Like that is...
It's a giant...
And there's no...
What?
I was just going to say, and there's no archaeological evidence that this huge mass of people wandered about in this area for 40 years, which there would be had that happened.
And that's
the area
the only alternative
would have had to go around in circles so many times they'd be dizzy.
The only alternative is a god planet-sized game of Snake.
Kind of, yeah.
See, the game of Snake, I know you play in the bedroom, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay, that might be one of the worst.
Yeah,
one
you
of the
always
worst
do.
arguments.
Douchebag.
That might be one of the worst arguments that I've heard. That whole affair, but one of the worst arguments that I've heard trying to pretend that happened was well, the Egyptians wouldn't have recorded it because it's embarrassing for them. And none of the other kingdoms around there would have recorded it because they didn't see it. Like, they didn't see the entire fucking nation of Israel walking around in the desert on a trade route for 40 years, following a pillar of fire.
No one, not one.
And that right there, Badger, what you guys are talking about, is exactly why what my brother says makes more sense to me than anything that's Christian religion. Because there's no evidence that any of it happened.
Yeah.
That's been one of my arguments this entire time. And for somebody to say, well, it hasn't happened yet, I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. That's the most interesting thing I've heard about religion since I was 6.
I can't believe that no one else saw the fire dealing, and would they have been curious enough to?
Yeah, okay.
least
I
call the
have a
fire
much
department?
bigger problem than that. I have a much bigger problem. If we're going down things that other people didn't see, yeah, I want to know why no other person in history, or of that time, no Romans, no Jews, nothing, recorded all the fuckers coming out of the graves, all the zombies all over Jerusalem, wandering around, having meals with people.
There you
No
go.
one else wrote that down.
That's another one, yep.
I think it's quite funny that how old is the Earth according to the things, the crazy people?
6,000 years.
Okay, so how come when how long into that was the flood?
3,000, I think.
Less
So-
than
so-
that.
That's that 2,000 maybe.
So presumably 4,000 years ago, roughly, the whole planet's supposed to have flooded.
Okay.
Yes.
Did
Go
the
on.
whole planet flood apart from most of the planet where other societies were living?
Well, the sane ones, that accept the flood, say it's a local flood.
Well, yeah, because it happened on the Iraqi flood plain. So shocker that a lot of civilizations in that area have flood myths. It's a fucking
Wait.
floodplain. I live on one
Wait.
myself. I know
Wait,
what
just-
they're
just-
like.
Wait a second,
Julie.
Julie. Just a
sorry.
second. Let me make sure I understand you correctly here. Are you telling me that the evidence that all these stories are true is that a floodplain flooded?
Yes.
No, not at all. There was, and my point was that there was never a global flood. There may have been
Exactly what-
isolated floods, but there were civilizations that existed before the flood, the biblical flood, and after, and they kept records, and they have whole civilizations and monuments and things that date to before and after. It's stupid. Like, and I have relatives who believe in a global flood, and it's real frustrating to me that I can't. I'm like, but geology, and they're like,
Can you
yeah,
can
but
you
no.
please buy their kids tickets to natural history museums?
They're all grown. Most of them are grown.
Go
And,
to the,
Can they
one
explain?
in,
Can they explain where all the damn water came from?
No, I mean
Go to
it's
one-
like God did it. Period. Full stop. And that's it.
that is
Where-
one of the one things that I will say good about London is the Natural History Museum. It's got that nice sleepy dinosaur at the end, and it's pretty cool.
And excuse me, there are lots of things that are great about London. I mean, there are lots of things that are horrible about London.
Heathrow is fucking horrible.
Yeah,
Beyond
Heathrow's
that,
not
yeah.
London, really.
No, but it's like that's the only part of London I got to see, unfortunately.
You know what?
Not
I think
making
that
things
just London disproves God.
So does Trump.
Yeah,
I think
fair.
you're probably right.
New York.
Uh,
New
I'm
York in
sorry, I
general.
went there. I'm
Pines-
sorry.
Yeah, Pine Snake says, if creationism is true, then by the growth of the population after the flood, there would only have been around 250,000 population worldwide during Exodus.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I do like that they try and use
Actually,
fixed percentage population growth charts to try and prove their point to now.
Human existence disproves God.
It does. Right, we should move on. Mostly because I think we could keep on. I think we could stay on this question for another
I'm
couple of
right.
hours.
For 2
That
years.
night. 2 years.
See, this would be the time for a certain someone to show up, but he only shows up when we're talking about Star Wars.
He does. He turned up
Say
yesterday when we. He turned up yesterday during Atheist Jeopardy.
It's so inappropriate. Okay, don't.
Yeah.
Are you talking about asshole number 104?
Yes.
Oh, I had a little conversation with him last night too.
Did you?
Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Who?
Arsehole 104.
Well, in chat, because he, yeah,
Oh,
he called me
chat,
sweetie,
chat,
and I
chat.
didn't
So
very
is
much
chat.
like it, so kind of pissed me off. a lot.
Who called you what?
Sweetie.
Oh,
But in a very, condescending way, and it fucking
Like,
set
oh,
me off.
sweetie.
I
Yeah.
dare you to call me sweetie one more time. And he did, and then he got banned. So,
oh what a shame.
Which is so condescending.
yeah, it really, if you don't know the person, I call my friend sweetie, it's fine. But if you don't know the person, especially a man to a woman, and you call them fucking sweetie, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. So.
Oh, honey, come on.
No, it's okay. We're friends. It's fine. But I'm not friends with Asshole 104, so. Plus, he told me I was a bad influence on young women because I flip off theists, which I've never debated a theist on YouTube. Never. So, I don't know where he fucking got that from. And why? Sorry,
Yeah.
never mind.
How dare they say anybody is a bad influence?
It's like, oh,
Deep
sugar,
breath,
don't worry
man.
your
Deep breath.
I'm good.
pretty little head about it. It's bullshit. I hate it. Ugh. Okay, I'm done.
You're done.
Well, I'm not even
I'm
allowed
lagging.
in the same room with him, so
You're not.
there's nothing I can say about it.
I can maybe find you a theist to debate if you like.
No, I'm good. I'm a scientist. I don't debate theism. I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to debate it.
I know a couple of reasonable ones.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm good.
Honest ones are usually
Anyway,
deists.
moving on. Sorry. Didn't mean to bring that up. Go ahead, Dave.
Right. Next question.
Oh,
Go on.
good.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, I was
Question.
just mention that I'm a pervert. I'm the very embodiment of everything they don't believe in.
You don't exist, clearly.
Exactly.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.